Well, how's it going today, folks? I'm Braap and welcome back to the Braap Shack. Today we're going to continue on with the Polaris Sportsman 500 HO engine build. I'll show you what I got going on here. So, I ended up ordering a whole head off of eBay. It's a good working head. I had a bent valve on the original head off of this quad, and turns out you can get a complete assembled head minus the camshaft for the same price as a new set of valves. So to me that just makes sense, considering the original head, it's a little bit beat up, and from when it blew up, the piston and the rings did a bit of a number on it. I was gonna use it anyway and just clean it up. I mean, it's usable, but when I can get, a good head for less than a set of valves, obviously that's what I'm gonna do. But I tested this. I flipped it over and I sprayed penetrating oil in all 4 of the ports, and 3 of them were still holding the fluid after a week, but 1 seeped out within a day. So we're gonna lap the valves. I don't have a valve compressor, so I made this tool out of a socket, and we're gonna use that clamp in this socket. We're gonna pull the valves. We're gonna lap them, put them back in. So I got them numbered. I got little scratches on the valves. There's 1 scratch, 2 scratch, 3 scratches, 4 scratches. I'll probably get them all mixed up anyway, but just to say I did it, I did it. So let's get to it. I already used this little homemade setup that I got here to take the valves out of the original head. I haven't tried it to put any back in, so that's where we're kind of going to see what happens. But let's probably start with number 1, I suppose. Get everything lined up. There we go. We're compressing. I don't know if you can see that very well. Compressed. Now we got those little clippy dooies that we gotta get out of there. And I'm not quite sure how we're gonna get them back in, but not quite sure how we're gonna get them back in there, but maybe we can get them out with this. Doubtful. Oh, there's 1 clippy dooey, fell right out of there. There's the other one. Okay. Where should I put these? Right fucking there, I guess. Okay, now we'll just unwind. And number 1 should just come right out of there. I remember correctly, this might have been the one that was leaking. There's one. Now I suppose we'll deal with number 2. You guys should probably get a fucking valve compressor. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. Not today. But one day. Maybe. There we go. Now I suppose we'll go to number 3. See, I can count. 3. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna quite get those back in, considering all I'm doing is tightening down on them till they fall out. But I'm sure we'll figure it out, or we'll swear a bunch and give up. I don't know. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, I see. You know, a lot of guys use a magnet to take the retainers out, but putting them back in, a little different. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll fucking figure it out. How hard can it be? Now, I got these fucking things. I suppose we should change them while we're fucking here. Maybe I'll change them after the lapping. Yeah. I'll lap these things and then I'll change them. So, first things first, we'll clean up what we have here a little bit. And clean up the valves. Clean up the head a little bit. And then we'll get to lapping. Get that nice and clean. As clean as you can. I'm sure there's people that know far better than me how to do this, and I'm probably fucking doing it wrong. But, you know what? Never had an issue. Never had an issue. Lapped quite a few valves. They always seem to be, you know, good when I'm done, so fuck it. If I do it my way, you can do it however the hell you want. Or if you're not interested in buying a bunch of fancy tools and shit, you can go ahead and do it this way. A little bit of lapping compound. I mean, some guys are like, oh, just a smidge. Whatever. Use a bunch. Use half the fucking jar if you want. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not expensive. And what you don't want to do is not put enough, and then you're sitting there just rubbing shit together for no fucking reason, right? When you're gonna do it right. Okay. Now that guy sits right down in there. See, my suction cup's a little bit big for these valves, but Oh, I got a delivery of lumber. I'll be back.
How old is he?
8 months.
Holy fuck, you're gonna have to shoot a moose amongst that thing.
That's why Georgia's. She orders 2 bags of dog food every 2 weeks.
Holy fuck. There you go, buddy.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Chico, shush. You scared him. You scared him, my boy. He made me put you inside. Hey, you scared him. Anyway, back to this. Okay. So, let's take. See if this works any better if we stick the fucking thing on there first. Okay. And then cover everything in poop. Hey, as they say, good enough for who it's for. Fuck yeah. Minty, fresh, fucking perfect. In the words of zip ties and bias flies, mint. If you guys haven't checked out that channel, you should check him out. Pretty fucking funny dude, man. And he's from Canada, over there in Grand Prairie area-ish. Likes to have fun with old junk. And if you're sensitive to the terrible language, you might not want to check out his channel. It's quite crude, but funny as fuck. Alright, I suppose I go clean this crap off. For spring entertainer. We'll take this fucking guy. See if we can spray it off with the brake clean and try and keep our numbers on the fucking thing, eh? Let's see if we can deal with these guides now. Or, I mean, these seals. How do they come off of there? I don't know why I bother to ask the fucking question. It's not like you're gonna answer. Let's see if we can pry them off somehow. Oh yeah. Easy peasy. What's the difference here? This kind. Oh, there goes battery number 1 of the day. Okay, so those are new seals. Suppose you just push them on there. The slightest of tappa tappa. Good enough. Yeah, see, I'm sure an actual valve compressor tool would probably be far less awkward, which is probably where it's a benefit. I mean, if you're not scared of a little bit of fucking around, you know, this fucking setup here was shit that I just had here. Just shit I had lying around the shop, you know. It's a fucking clamp and a socket, and I used a grinder. And that was it. There we go. A little bit of what? What do I got? There. Vaseline. It's good for everything from an ass rash to holding valve retainer things. Okay? Now, we should just loosen this off, and everything should go where it fucking belongs. There you go. Number 1. I may buy a valve tool. I mean, that's a little fucking inconvenient, but, you know. The bottom line is if you don't got the special shit, you can still do this job. Okay? I mean, special tools always make everything fucking easier, but you'll find guys that'll tell you, oh, you can't do it. You can't. You need the tool. Well, tell them. Check out the fucking Braap Shack video and you'll see. That's what you tell them fucking guys. Let's see if we can do 2 in a row, eh? You know, I'm just talking for nothing. That'll be the only fluke of the day, and the other 3 won't go. Okay? Just fucked. I've got faith in myself. Get some of the bum rash cream on this fucking thing. Put some of the bum rash cream on it. Get your smallest pair of pliers onto it. Pop it into place. And then, because you got the bum rash cream on it, you can rotate that one down to the bottom side and it won't fall out of there. That way it's easier. You're not trying to put the other one on, you know, upside down. You just plop it on top. I probably could have used assembly lube too. That shit's pretty fucking, pretty sticky and gooey, but I've always used Vaseline for holding things temporarily in place, you know, rebuilding transmissions and shit. Oh, you can't use that in a transmission? Yeah. There's a black 97 Ram sitting in the driveway. I rebuilt that transmission, fuck, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, probably 60, 70, 80,000 kilometers ago. Fucking still just fine. It's a good goddamn truck, that one. Sold it to my buddy there, Brapper John. He put a fucking 6-inch rough country lift kit on it and 35-inch fucking grappler tires and turned it into a beast. That was the first transmission I ever rebuilt in my life. And I had no fucking help whatsoever. Just figure it the fuck out. Eh? And I figured it the fuck out. I didn't buy any of the special tools. I'll actually take you guys out and I'll show you. I had to build a press to rebuild the overdrive, because the overdrive on those I believe it's a 46 RE or something like that. But anyway, the overdrive on that transmission is its own separate unit. It's off the back side of the transmission, and it's got a big fucking spring inside of it. And in order to disassemble it, you need to compress that spring. I was told that it's under like 1,600 pounds of fucking force or some shit like that. I don't know. I was told. Kept getting told, oh yeah, you're gonna have to bring it to somebody, you're gonna have to take it to a shop, you're gonna have to find a press. Well, I didn't have a press, and I didn't fucking feel like taking it to somebody and having them charge me money to compress a spring for me. So in true Braap Shack style, I made a fucking press. And I'll take you out and I'll show you it after. But yeah, I made a fucking press. Fucking people in town just couldn't believe it. The people that I had spoken to anyway about how to do it. They just couldn't believe that I fucking built a press. I mean, you do what you gotta do, right? I had enough people telling me, oh yeah, don't try and rebuild that yourself. Yeah, that's an automatic transmission, you're gonna fuck it up. Well, I said, fuck that, I'm not. I mean, I did get quotes on, you know, possibly getting somebody else to rebuild it. But I mean, we're talking, I think my cheapest price that I got quoted to rebuild that 46 RE, I think the cheapest was like, fuck, I don't know, it was like $2,000 or something like that. All the way up to like $3,500. And then I go to the local truck shop, and they can get me a rebuild kit for, I think it was like $450 or something, $500. And that was a full master rebuild kit. And it was an upgrade kit too. I can't remember, there was a couple things in there. There was a couple valves that were upgraded and changed, and some other stuff. But it was an upgrade kit as well as a master rebuild kit. And it was like, I think it was like $500 or $600 or something like that. And I'm like, so I can buy the rebuild kit, and someone's gonna charge me, you know, $2,000 or $2,500 just to take my transmission apart and put it back together? I don't fucking think so. Taking shit apart and putting it back together is what I fucking do. So I bought the fucking rebuild kit, and I didn't even have this shop at the time. I rebuilt that transmission in my porch. In my fucking porch. I pulled the transmission. The truck was buried in snow in the front yard, obviously, because I had a blown transmission. It wasn't being used. It was buried in the fucking snow. Like 3 feet of snow out in the front yard. I dug the fucking thing out, tarped it off, pulled the transmission in the snow, brought the fucking transmission into my porch, rebuilt it, put it back in the truck, in the fucking snow. And that transmission is still banging like a champ. So, I mean, sure, rebuilding transmissions isn't for anybody, but if you're mechanically inclined, if you know how to carefully disassemble things and put them back together, it's not that difficult of a job. I mean, there's some parts of it that are a little scary, like if you pull your valve body apart, which you have to for a master rebuild. I mean, some guys will go in and they'll change their transmission bands and fluid and filter, and they call that a rebuild. Well, it's really not, because the magic of an automatic transmission happens in the valve body. So if you don't address your valve body fucking plates and seals, make sure all your check balls are still in good shape, because in the Dodges they use vinyl. They're not steel fucking ball bearings. They're these little, I don't know if it's vinyl or just some other type of plastic, but little plastic check balls rather than a steel ball bearing. And they wear down over time. And if they go through the passage that they're meant to block, 99% chance your transmission's not going to work no more. So if you're rebuilding one, you are best off to split your valve body. That was where I was most scared when rebuilding that transmission. It was you open it up and oh yeah, it's kind of scary, really delicate. That was the issue that I did have when rebuilding that, was I dropped part of the valve body, dented it, because it's really soft aluminum. Dented the fucking thing, and then I ended up having to get another. It was just lucky that a buddy of mine had a broken Ram, Dodge Ram, and I was able to get it off him for a good price and get the half of the valve body that I needed from it. Come on, last one. It's giving me fucking trouble here. There we go. There we go. So, I mean, if people want to disagree with the way I do things, they can go right ahead. I don't really care, because I mean, a lot of the things I do may not be the right way, but they fucking work, man. I don't do things just for the sake of doing them, you know. So if anybody needs to borrow a top of the line fucking valve compressor tool, here we got one in stock. You just let me know. There we go. We rebuilt the head, boys. So, I said I'd take you out and I'd show you the vise that I had to build to rebuild that transmission. And here she is. That is 8x8 guardrail posts. That is transmission cross member out of the Dodge Ram parts truck that I had. That is the tire jack for fuck if I know what. And we got a piece of I don't know what that is, 2 2¼ inch steel tubing. And that guy in there, it's got a hole for I believe that was the output shaft side of the overdrive housing. And you can actually see how it's like concaved. That's how much pressure I was putting on this thing to compress that spring. And then you loosen the whole fucking thing off, That spring comes out of the overdrive housing. And when you're done rebuilding all the clutches and plates in the overdrive housing, you gotta use this to fucking put it all back together. She were fucking sketchy, but I've used this thing a few times for breaking beads on tires, and you know, odd little things. I don't trust it too much, so I don't use it. I just haven't gotten to taking it apart. Yeah. So that's the vice I was telling you about anyway.